everybody. Welcome. Oh, and I missed you guys. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how much I've missed you. Anyway, thanks for being here today. This is my home studio where I've been practicing for the last few weeks, and I missed the social interaction. I've got my mat, I've got my blocks, and my strap handy. It's a beautiful day out today, and I'm trying to get into a new normal schedule. So for those of you who have practiced with me, this is going to be movement that you're very familiar with. And for those of you who have never practiced with our class, please be mindful of your body. If there's any pinching or binding that feels uneasy for your body, that your breath doesn't seem to alleviate, please back out of that asana, and we'll meet in child's pose or downward dog or Tadasana. So with that, let's go ahead and sit comfortably and find our breath. And as we inhale, we can place our hand on our lower abdomen, maybe the other hand on our chest, and find our breath. Inhaling for 4, holding it at the top, and exhaling for 5. And moving through that, knowing that our breath can give us energy and nutrients any time of the day, anytime we're distracted, anytime we want to be in the now. With your next inhalation, let's take our arms and extend them overhead, reaching towards the sun on this beautiful, beautiful day. Taking our gaze up and down, and up and down. You can have a soft focus at the screen, or you can close your eyes and allow my prompts to help you move through this practice. And the next time your neck is in neutral, let's come down to goddess arms. Holding those goddess arms extended, palms facing forward, strong shoulders. Noticing that our shoulders are not up by our ears, but extended horizontally, our arms. And let's rotate those palms facing up and dialing them down towards the ground and then facing the back of the room and rotating them up and down, rotating them towards the back of the room, up and dialing those arms down. One more time, extending your arms out straight, taking the right arm down to the right hip, extending your left arm overhead, stretching into that right side, opening up left. Taking your gaze towards that beautiful sun, keeping your eyes closed, breathing through that. With the next breath, bringing the left arm down, taking the right arm overhead. Nice stretch, opening up that right side. Taking the gaze up towards the sun. Coming back down, moving over towards the right, taking that left hand over the right knee, extending that spine, taking that gaze over the right shoulder, and then rotating, moving that right arm over to the left knee, placing the palm on the left knee, extending the left arm behind your back, taking your gaze over that left shoulder. Coming to neutral, taking our chin down to our chest, taking our gaze up, chin to chest, then rocking our head to the right and to our left with our chin down towards our chest. Like a rowboat in the water, rocking back and forth. When your chin's back in that neutral position, looking straight ahead, let's take our right ear down to our right shoulder, taking our right arm out and taking our left arm out. Feeling that extension through that left arm, maybe even tapping as if we're playing the piano on our mat. Tapping those fingers and bringing your neck to neutral. Now Now taking your left ear down to your left shoulder and extending with that right arm. Let's play and tap our fingers on our mat as if we're playing the piano, extending that right arm, that nice stretch. Feels good. Taking our arms up, extending them wide, giving ourselves a big hug. Right arm on the bottom, left arm on the top. Hugging those shoulders, sitting up straight. Really giving yourself a big hug. With all the social distancing, I at least miss being able to hug my children and people I meet that I haven't seen for a while. And let's extend that. And now putting the left arm underneath and the right arm. Hugging ourselves, feeling the back of our shoulder blades, maybe even tapping, doing some tapping. Extending. Let's do right under left again for eagle arms. Wrapping that right arm around that left arm for our eagle arms, really feeling that stretch through our shoulders. And if you have the movement, we can raise and lower those even a little bit. Just little micro movements. If this is not in your practice today, you can simply hug yourself and move your elbows up and down. So we'll extend out, and this time when I wrap my arms in eagle, my left arm will be under my right, and you may notice a difference from side to side. I certainly do. And if it's in your practice, moving ever so slightly those elbows up and down. And again, maybe the side's a little tighter, so you just hug yourself and move those elbows up and down. Now clenching up the jaw will release. We don't want you to clench, we want you to breathe, extending your arms up. If you happen to have a block handy, take your block, extending it overhead, folding forward, stretching out those shoulders, taking your gaze to the floor, breathing. Bringing that block up overhead, changing our legs, and folding back forward. Taking that gaze, stretching through those shoulders, Taking that block up, and we'll set it over to the side. We'll come to our backs with our arms overhead. Stretching, taking your arms overhead, stretching your toes, pointing them and releasing. And we'll do this a couple times. Pointing, really stretching your arms and your legs, and relax. And one more. Stretching, opposite directions, and relax. Bringing the left arm to the side, right arm overhead, right knee towards the sky, foot on the floor. Let's bring that left leg up and down. A few times, loosening that up. Let's add our right arm that's overhead with our breath. Do this a few times, loosening that up. And the next time your leg is up in the air, let's leave it up. Let's massage up and down that leg. And rotate the ankle. Rotating the ankle. And let's go the opposite way. And bending at the knee, placing the ankle over on top of the right knee. And let's move and rock that ankle, that leg, that knee, back and forth. And feeling that through the hips. Nice, gentle massage. And taking our hands and clasping them behind the right thigh, pulling and folding into that. If it's in your practice to bring your shoulder blades off the mat, you can do that. If not, you can simply fold into gradual stretch. Replacing that right foot on the ground, taking the left ankle in the right hand and dropping that right knee and left foot to the right side. The left arm can extend overhead, or you can extend that left arm out to the left side. Nice stretch. Finding your breath and breathing into the openings. Returning that right knee up to the sky, taking the left leg up and down. Extending both legs. Stretching arms and legs pointed and release. Bringing the left leg, knee towards the sky, foot placed on the floor. Returning your right arm to the side, bringing that right leg up and down. Adding the left arm with your breath. Next time, right leg is extended up. Let's massage that right leg. Do some ankle rotations. One way, and then the opposite. Take that ankle of the right leg and cross it over the left upper thigh. Excuse me, it would be the lower thigh, knee area. Rocking that knee, the ankle, the hip. Open, close. Very gently. You can use your hand on your thigh as I'm doing. Taking your hands now and clasping them behind that left thigh, folding into a nice stretch. It's in your practice, a little bit more core. Hold into that, extending. No clenching of the jaw, gently breathing. Releasing your arms, placing your foot back down on the ground. Taking your right ankle in your left hand and dropping that left knee and right foot over to the left hand side. And take your right arm overhead, breathing into that nice stretch. Bringing the knee back up, taking the right foot down with knees up in the air, feet about mat distance apart. Let's dial both knees over to the right, taking our arms out to a T, and our gaze to the opposite way that our knees are dialing. Dialing our knees over to the left, taking our gaze to the right. And back and forth a few times with your breath. The next time your knees are dialed over to the right, Take your right foot and place it on that left knee. A little bit more, a deeper stretch. Still working with those quad muscles, feeling that in our left leg. Taking that right foot, replacing it, dial the knees over to the left. Taking that left ankle and foot over to the right knee. Feeling that stretch, having it open up the right. Wow, that feels good this day. After doing a lot of cycling this week, feels really good in my thighs. And replacing that left foot on the mat, bringing your knees together, hugging them in, rocking left and right. Rocking back and forth. Placing your feet on the mat, coming up to a seated position, placing your hands behind your hips, feet hip distance apart. We're going to push up into a reverse table. Really pushing through those heels, outside of your feet, connecting and coming into a tabletop position. So we're fairly warmed up, finding our cat and cow in this tabletop, breathing. Toes can be tucked under, or they can be strong and supportive. Breathing through. Lifting up that right leg, extending it back, the strength and the balance. Extending that left arm out. If it's in your practice to do some elbow to knees here, please rotate through some with your breath. We'll do 2 more. Extending that leg, still placing the left arm back to the mat, crossing that leg over, taking your gaze towards those toes. Nice side stretch. Lifting that leg back up. And bringing it down. Extending your other leg. Extending it back, finding a nice extension, taking the opposite arm up for some balance. And again, if it's in your practice, to bring knees to elbow, work through a couple of those movements with your breath. And one more. Placing that arm, crossing the leg over, and taking your gaze towards those toes. Nice side stretch. Replacing your knees back into table, tucking our toes under. Let's gently sit back on those toes, opening up the balls of your feet, those toes. When I first started doing these, I would get cramps, insane cramps in my arch of my foot and my toes. But now it seems as though each time I do it, I can do it a little bit longer. Let's come back to tabletop and pushing those toes under, just letting them rest for a moment. If you are on a hard wood surface or need something under your knees, please, I've got a blanket over there, but because I'm on the carpet, my knees are okay. So protect those knees, whatever you need to do. Let's tuck our toes under. We're going to go down into the first down dog of the day. And let's push through those arms, taking our knees off the mat, extending through those arms, walking out our feet, maybe our heels, walking those dogs, really getting and playing with the extension. Feels good. Very good. Maybe about our toes. Maybe lifting our toes off the mat. And let's simply come down into child's pose. And as most of you know, our child's pose is a safe place to find our breath. We're going to go up into downward dog, pressing through again, picking those knees off the ground, pressing into downward dog, taking that right leg up and putting our right leg down on the mat, bringing our left leg through to our hands. It's bringing our hands up overhead. Nice. Look at the sun and the sky. If it's in your practice to bring your knee off the ground, please do so. Nice. You can stay here. Take your right arm down next to your left foot and open up to a nice side stretch, or if it's in your practice, and you're on your knee, you can all meet here. Framing that left foot, taking that left foot back into plank. You can do a chaturanga from here, or you could put your knees down, and we will all meet back in downward dog. Taking your left leg up, bringing that left leg, knee down on the mat, right foot through. Again, you can stay here, planting that left hand next to the right foot. Open up. Take your gaze and your arm up towards the sky. And if it's in your practice to take that knee off the mat, please do so. Nice. Very nice. Frame that right foot, take it back into plank, and we'll do another chaturanga. You can take your knees down, and we will meet in child's pose. Coming out of child's pose, we'll move down to our bellies and meet in cobra. Hands extended out either on the mat or just beyond the mat, lifting up. Extending our legs out, elbows in, legs a little further than hip distance, and come down. You can make a pillow with your hands. Find your breath. Taking your right leg up, foot could be flexed or pointed, holding that right leg. And releasing. Left. Taking that left leg up, it can be pointed or flexed. And releasing. Now we're going to take both legs up, holding them, holding, and release. And we're going to go up into cobra again. Nice. Stretch in your back. And we'll release. And one more time up into cobra. And see if we can lift our hands up a little bit. Nice. And release. Make a pillow with your hands. Make a pillow. Maybe stack them or coming up onto your elbows and lift through pushing on the floor. And we've done this before, and I thought this might be fun on something a little different to do. Moving your legs a little bit closer together. You can take your toes and kind of move them together. And bending the right leg and taking the left leg and that foot and seeing if you can prop your left shin under your left, your left shin under your right foot. So see if this is in your practice today. And hold, don't clench your mouth, don't hold your breath, and slowly release. And then taking the other foot and crossing it under and pushing with that foot under the opposite leg. And the foot might find the shin, it might find the knee. And enjoy the stretch. You might notice one side extends and is a little bit more flexible than the other. Let's push up into child's pose, releasing that arch in the back, the lower lumbar. And we'll meet in child's pose. Nice release. Moving to the center of my mat, I'm going to grab my blocks and we've done this before, putting our blocks on the inside of our feet. And extending our right arm down onto the block, taking that left arm overhead and finding a nice deep stretch. Your block can be on the highest level, it can be on a medium level, or if you don't need your block, you can simply remove it and have your hand resting on the inside of your heel or foot. And we'll go on to the other side, finding our block or our heel and taking the opposite arm overhead. Very nice, very nice. And then ultimately, what we might be working towards is finding that spot where we're finding both heels and coming into again, find your breath, don't hold your breath, don't clench, coming up into child pose, releasing that lower lumbar. Feels nice. Coming out of child's pose, pushing back into downward dog. Looking between your hands, walking or jumping your hands into your feet, forward fold. If you have your blocks handy and would like to use them, please feel free to use the support. Halfway up, forward fold. Bend your knees slowly, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Hands to heart center. Coming up, finding our breath, taking a few cleansing breaths. Shaking out, scanning our body, seeing what other nourishment we might need with this practice. We're going to take our hands overhead, sit down in our invisible chair, check our alignment, making sure our knees are aligned. Maybe see if we can sit down a little further, bringing our hands to heart center. I've missed this. Coming up, taking our arms up overhead. Arms back up. We're going to sit down. This time we'll do a little twist, bringing our hands to heart center. Taking that knee to elbow, twisting, saying hello to our neighbor, our puppy dog, whoever else might be home, to center. And then to the other side. Hello, sunshine. And center and up. Maybe coming off our mat. Finding our mountain pose, our tree pose, wherever you feel comfortable in your tree. If you want to move over to a wall or the couch or a chair, please feel free to do so. We'll find our tree today. If we're just starting out in a tree, this is perfect tree pose. Just so perfect. And really opening up pressing the hip, feeling that engagement in our gluteus maximus. Maybe moving our arms. And as many of you know, I try to challenge you each week with closing your eyes, seeing where this pose takes you, and the different sensations that you feel when you do close your eyes. Moving our arms around, but continuing to have a drishti or some sort of focal point. Really holding, seeing how long you can hold this. And even though I don't have my foot resting on the inside of the opposite leg, way up at the thigh or anywhere, I do feel the strength in my rooted leg. I feel the strength in the muscles, building strength. And let's go ahead, we'll shake that out. March it out or shake it out. For those of you that are familiar with our practice, we're going to go ahead and sit down, taking our arms out as if we're holding a platter, not using our hands. See if we can sit down as gracefully as possible, and we'll find ourselves laying on our backs. So extending our legs long, taking our arms overhead, finding a nice long stretch. Bringing our arms down to the side, knees up towards the sky, feet in. If you have your block handy, we're going to raise up into a bridge, placing our block under our sacrum. Could be at any level. Finding a nice supported bridge pose. Taking our right leg, extending it long. Taking our right arm overhead. Breathing into a nice stretch there. Bringing that arm back down by the side. Holding that knee up towards the sky. Extending our left leg down. Right arm overhead. Couple cleansing breaths. Bring the left up and maybe try taking both legs down and both arms overhead. If this is too much for you, feels uncomfortable, you can simply bring your legs back in and rest here for a breath rotation. Lifting up, removing that block, setting it off to the side. Bringing your knees in, rocking from side to side. Nice massage on your back, kidneys. Feeling that, rocking from side to side. Grabbing your toes with your peace fingers. Peace out. Happy baby, rocking from side to side. Maybe as you're rocking, extending one leg straight and the opposite as you're rocking side to side. Bringing our feet back down, getting ready for Shavasana. Taking our feet extended out and flexing them. Taking our arms out, extending them, clenching our fingers in a tight fist and relaxing. Let's do that again. Flexing those feet, engaging all the muscles of our legs, all the muscles of our arms, feeling that even through our shoulder blades, maybe pushing into the mat, taking those shoulders off and relaxing. We'll do that one more time, and this time when we clench, let's even clench our face. So taking our hands in a fist, feet flexed, engaging as many muscles, including those muscles on our face, and relax. Bringing our hands down to the side, palms up, Shavasana. Next inhalation, start to just move your fingers and your toes. And a little movement. And taking your arms overhead as if you're stretching or waking up to a new day, new promise. Rolling on to one side and slowly moving up to a seated position. Once in a seated position, let's take our arms far and wide, encompassing all the goodness in the world. Bringing our arms overhead, hands to prayer, pulling all that goodness into our heart center. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for continuing your practice. Looking forward to the day we can all practice again in person as one. Namaste.